In this video, I'm going to sort of tell you a story. I graduated from college about a year ago, and I felt like I sort of did all the things you're supposed to do. I joined a research lab, and it was a motor neuroscience lab. I didn't publish a paper, but I'm still kind of working on that project right now. Collected all the data. Hopefully, we'll publish a paper for submission. And after I graduated, I had a 3.8 science GPA. I was part of the Phi Kappa Beta Honor Society, and I also actually got a research scholarship, partial scholarship stipend called the Knight Undergraduate Campus Scholars Program Scholarship. So I did a bunch of stuff while I was an undergrad. I even worked at football games as an EMT. I got my EMT license. And then after I graduated early, I worked as an EMT for the rest of that year. So, I graduated about a year early, worked for as an EMT for about a year, and all of that sort of changed my perspective. So in this video, I'm going to tell you about why I'm unemployed at this point, why I'm living with my parents at the age of 22, even though I have a neuroscience degree. And the reason is because of this perspective that's highlighted from a quote in the book The Sun Also Rises by Ernest Hemingway. And what happens in the book is a character is asked, "How did you go broke?" And then he says, "Slowly at first, and then all at once." And I think that when you're pursuing larger things in life, it's kind of similar. It doesn't happen all at once, it happens very slowly, oftentimes even completely imperceptibly, and then it happens all at once. Think about starting a business, for example. Say you have a great idea, some sort of innovative solution to a problem, and you go out and you want to start a business. Well, what sort of things are you going to do? You're going to read books, you're going to talk to people, you're going to work a lot of on the project during for a lot of hours, put time into it. And then what are you going to see back at first? Oftentimes, probably nothing at all. In fact, the company might go down in value. It might not be profitable. It might seem like you're destroying the wealth of the people that invested in you. You're wasting your time. You're getting older with nothing to show for it. And then what happens? It's parabolic. All of a sudden, you know, you become profitable. You reach your market. Things turn around very quickly in these sorts of spaces. And this isn't just with business. Think about other things. You're trying to become a doctor. You're going into debt for 8 years if you go on a pretty standard track in the US and you go to undergraduate college and then you go to medical school and you don't have other ways of paying for that, you're going into debt. What do you have? There's no financial things to show for it. Of course, there's a little bit of feedback in both of these cases. As a someone studying to become a doctor, you'll get a little bit of feedback. You'll have experiences where you're working with patients, where you're doing extracurriculars, doing research, and you'll get a little bit of feedback. Maybe you get a publication. Maybe you help somebody recover from a disease in the back of an ambulance while you're working as an EMT. Same thing goes for the business. You'll get a little feedback. Maybe you talk to some new connection. You make a new connection with another business. Maybe you get a little bit more investment. Even if you're not profitable in the business, even if you're going into debt in medical school, you get feedback. But everything happens all at once. It's slowly and then all at once. You get a little feedback, it's all at once. Now compare that to something very linear. I'm wearing this shirt right now because it's one of the jobs I used to work when I first got my MT license. I was working on a place called Angel Island. I would get up in the morning, get there, take the boat over, work on the island all day, come back into shore, and then I would work at a restaurant on the mainland. And I would do that during the week. Then during the weekends, I would go to the EMT class, which was accelerated and it was only Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So that was sort of what my schedule looked like. And my progress at work was very linear. I go in for a certain number of hours. Each hour, I get paid a little bit. And the longer I work, get paid a little more. Very linear. But the ceiling is very low. Same thing with my EMT job. The ceiling's very low. I got paid 15.50 an hour in Eugene, Oregon, working at an ambulance company. It's linear. You work, get paid a little bit, and the ceiling's very low. So if you set your sights on something almost out of reach, and you're looking at your results and you're a little disappointed, just remember you don't get paid anything for reading a book. You don't get necessarily any sort of clear returns on investment when you're doing a lot of these things that are going to pay off in the future, oftentimes in a very extreme and unpredictable way. So don't get discouraged by that. Um, in fact, maybe be encouraged if you're not seeing any immediate returns, and just think, look, this is for something in the more distant future. If you look at my specific example right now, I'm applying to medical school, and I'm going to hopefully start working again soon, but I'm looking at some bigger picture things. I really want to understand, healthcare policies, economics. Maybe I'll even get like a MPH or something. I know some schools offer that because I really want to talk to people about these issues. And that's why I'm making these videos. This is a great example. What sort of clear progress am I making here? Every time I make a video, I don't get paid anything actually. Every time I read and research for these videos, there's no money to show for it. And I recognize, look, some of this video has been very focused on money, but it goes with other things too. It's like, what sort of success do you see? Think about YouTube. You make a video, you make lots of videos. Maybe you make 100 videos and you get nothing to show for it, and then one video gets thousands and thousands of views. I think that's a great example. You never know where something big is going to happen. It sometimes happens slowly and then all at once. So that's the mantra. Success, when you're aiming at the stars, it happens very slowly, then all at once. If you want to follow me on my journey to becoming a doctor, you can click the buttons below the video. Follow me in this application cycle. Hopefully, this is helpful and inspiring, and it gives you some motivation to sort of pursue something bigger. Stop pursuing things that are super linear. Thanks for watching.